Hello, my beautiful African people. Welcome back to Hail and Ride African Facebook page and YouTube channel. Today we are looking at, or we are asking the question, why are some of the Africans in diaspora doesn't have life? When I talk about diaspora, I'm talking about the Africans mostly in the West. We're going to answer the question, why some of these Africans doesn't have life. The answer to the question is not something you think. It's not because we Africans abroad are not making money. We are not working hard enough to make money and to live like at least a bit comfortable life in the West. It's none of these things. The answer to the questions I'm gonna tell you later, but I want you guys to watch these video clips of our African brothers in London suffering in cold weather, cleaning the streets of London. And most of them are doing this to not only sustain themselves, but to sustain their family members or friends or relatives back home in Africa. Watch the clip and I will come back to answer the question why some Africans in diaspora doesn't have life. Yes, my people, you see how our African brothers are suffering in the streets of London, early in the cold morning, cleaning the streets of London just to make money. And when they make this money, those guys are likely to throw those money to their relatives or friends or family members back home in Africa. And but here in London, they don't live a normal life. There is no life for them. It's just suffering to make some people happy and addicted. But that's what we see with some of those our African people back home. Yes, you have seen how these two of our brothers are suffering in cold weather in the streets of London, trying to clean the street. And some of them going through this suffering will get this money and they're gonna be worrying about taking care of their people or their family members or their friends or relatives back home in Africa to settle them financially, give them money. But the one untoward things about this type of, sending money all the time to Africa is that you have spoiled some of our African people back home, from our people back home, because most of them just want you to throw money at them. All the time they want you to throw money at them. You can never do one-time transaction with some of our people back home. Like if you have a friend in Africa and said, okay, let me give this guy something. Let me give let me give him money for something. Or some of them might be requesting money from you to give them money. Once you give them money once, you have opened a floodgate. They keep coming back all the time to ask you to give them more money, throw more money at them without doing any damn stuff for you. You know what I mean? And it's making some of our people in diaspora their life miserable because in terms of quality of life for some of us Africans abroad is not something to write home about. That's why you see, especially if you live in London, that's why you see some of our African brothers, they have been in London, they have lived in London for more than 10 years. They're still living in one room. In one room with other tenants there. And sometimes there might be two people living in one room, sharing one room for our African brothers. I know other groups I can think of are still doing it now, but you know, the Indians and Chinese, they used to do this when they are say struggling like Africans, but they don't do it anymore. We see this kind of stuff with Africans, and it's not like they cannot afford. Some of them cannot afford to live in 2-bed flat or 3-bed flat. They can, but the problem is you have people back home that cannot allow you to rest for a second. And some of them have been used to this because Africans, we live like a communal life. We, especially if you grow up in Africa, you know that we help each other. We help our community. We help our relatives. But the problem is that once you start helping them, it's non-stop. You have to continue. And the problem is that once you say to them, no, I'm not giving you anything, you become their enemy. And the stuff, and the one sad stuff about this thing is that some of them won't even do a damn thing for you if you send them to do any job, any work for you, and even though you're gonna pay them, they don't want to do it. They just want you to throw money at them. Give me that cash. That's what they want. They don't want to hear any other stuff that you're sending them errand. They just want you to tell them, send me your account details and I will credit them. I will credit your account details. That's what they want to hear from you. Any other stuff you're talking about to them is completely, absolutely nonsense. And I have this experience personally, like with some of our people. Sometimes I used to argue with some of our brothers here in abroad. Some of them would tell you, stop putting your money back home in Africa, like in projects. Stop carrying any project in Africa. Is sometimes a waste of money. But I don't see it that way. The way I see it is that if you want to build a house in Africa, you're not just building a house for yourself. You're gonna create jobs because people is gonna benefit from this money. Your community is gonna benefit because most of the workers or all the works that are gonna be done there is gonna be carried out by the locals, and it's a way of helping the economy because we know that most of the government in Africa are corrupt, highly corrupt. They don't do much. They don't even have the idea of how to create jobs and how to keep the economy running so that the money will be in people's hands so they can spend money and boost the economy. These of our African leaders, most of them doesn't have this concept and they're highly corrupt. But let me circle back to what I was talking about, doing some project in Africa. Because when you do any project in Africa, you're not only building it for yourself, you're helping the community because they're going to benefit from money you spend. That's how I see it. That's why I'm always supporting anyone to invest in, do some work, carry some work in Africa, like build some house or houses. Because anytime you are building anything, you're gonna create jobs. People are gonna benefit. But if you keep your money, no one will benefit, and it doesn't help our people. But what I'm talking about is that these our people doesn't want to do anything. They are conditioned to take money from you and don't do any work for you. I personally have an experience because there's some project I'm doing back home. So in Africa, so I sent some people to go and go and do some cleaning and tidying up in that project. And I'm gonna pay them. I will pay them double of any amount they are paying them, like to do a job, because most of the work in Africa is carried like, they paid on daily basis, not per hour. And I said for them, if they do the job, which gonna take them 1 day, I'm gonna pay them for 2 days, each of them. And this is 2 ladies I sent to do this. I told my mom to organize these 2 ladies. I want the money to be in circulation. I want to somehow help them and help myself, But those 2 ladies, they don't want to do the job. They just keep complaining, giving excuses. Oh, someone else have to do the job half, so they're gonna go and finish the job. Because one of the lady I have already given her money for free for not doing anything. But now it's time for them to carry their lazy hands and go and do some down work to get money. They're giving excuses. They only want to hear that you want to give them money free. And it's too bad because they're sending our people in abroad crazy. They are ruining their life, their quality of life is decreasing. Because of people that even when you send them money, they enjoy it because they don't work for the money and they have hope that you're going to send the money again to them. Because they think that they are still thinking that way, that in abroad money grows in trees. You don't do any job. That's why I showed these 2 of our brothers cleaning in London, in streets of London, so that when they see this video, they see that life is hard abroad. It's not easy to get money. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are trying to grow. Our YouTube channel help us to grow. And I'm pro-Africa. I want Africa to be good. So help me to grow my channel by subscribing. Thank you for watching. Peace.